There's a kind of quiet pain that settles into your chest when you feel like you're falling behind in life. It's not loud or dramatic, it's subtle. It's the silent ache when you scroll through social media and see people your age announcing their engagements, landing dream jobs, launching businesses, traveling the world, buying houses, and smiling like they've figured it all out. And meanwhile, you're here still trying to understand what your next step should be. Still second-guessing your choices. Still carrying the weight of dreams you haven't yet lived. And in those moments, it's easy to ask yourself, am I late? Did I miss something? Is there something wrong with me for still figuring it out? But let me tell you something the world forgets to say, something it doesn't put on billboards or in highlight reels. Going slow doesn't mean you're losing. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're less than the people who seem to be moving faster. Going slow means you're still in the race. It means you're still showing up despite the doubts, despite the fear, despite not having all the answers. It means you're still choosing hope, even when it's hard to see progress. And that matters more than you know. Because life is not a race to be won. It's not a competition to see who gets there first. It's a journey of becoming, of learning who you are, what matters to you, and what kind of life feels true to your soul. Some people take the straight road, fast and clear. Others, like you, take the winding path, the slower one, the one that forces you to dig deep, to build strength in the quiet, to grow in the dark. And maybe, just maybe, that's a gift in disguise. Because when you finally arrive, it won't just be a destination. It'll be a reflection of everything you've overcome. You are not late. You are not failing. You are simply living your life at your pace. And as long as you haven't given up, as long as you're still trying, still dreaming, still putting one foot in front of the other, then you are moving forward. Slowly, perhaps, but forward nonetheless, and that already makes you stronger than you think, stronger than the doubts, stronger than the pressure, stronger than the timeline you thought you had to follow. The myth of speed and success. We live in a world obsessed with speed, faster careers, faster results, faster lives. We've built a culture where acceleration is everything, where youth is praised for how early they make it, where success is measured in how fast you climb, how quickly you achieve, how soon you arrive. Every scroll on social media is a reminder. Graduations, wedding photos, big promotions, keys to a first home, passports filled with stamps. It all looks so effortless, so beautiful, so perfectly timed, but what you don't see is the in-between, the hidden hours of uncertainty, the quiet sacrifices, the years of trying and not getting there. Yet. No one posts about the months spent feeling stuck, about the silent fears of being mediocre, about crying quietly in the shower so no one hears, about waking up every day with a lump in your throat, wondering if you're enough, if you'll ever be more than this version of yourself. No one celebrates the person who keeps going when the path is unclear. No one claps for the slow seasons, the years of invisible effort. But let me tell you this, those moments are sacred. The work you're doing in the dark, the healing, the growing, the small, quiet victories, they matter, even if no one sees them yet. We've been sold a dangerous idea that our worth is tied to speed, that if we're not quick, we're not successful, that if we're not ahead, we're behind. But the truth is far more human, far more honest. Your value is not in how fast you go, but in how deeply you grow. Growth isn't always visible. It doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it happens in silence, in slowness, in stillness. You're allowed to take your time. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to move at the pace your soul needs, not the pace the world demands. Because this life is not a race. It's not about who gets there first. It's about who gets there fully whole, alive, and true to themselves. So, if you're moving slowly, Don't be ashamed. Be proud. It means you're still showing up. It means you're building something real, and that kind of strength, that's the kind that lasts. Slow growth is still growth. A tree doesn't rush to touch the sky. It doesn't panic when it's not yet towering above the others. It doesn't compare its progress to the trees beside it. Instead, it focuses on the most important part, its roots. It digs deep, quietly, patiently, intentionally, long before anyone sees a branch or a leaf. The tree is working in the unseen. It's anchoring itself, learning to withstand storms before they arrive, finding strength not in speed, but in depth. Some trees take years, decades, even before they grow tall, but when they do, they're unshakable. They don't just survive, they thrive, because what's underground is stronger than anything the eye can see. And maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're in a season that feels still. Maybe nothing seems to be happening, but beneath the surface, you're building. You're healing old wounds. You're learning how to stand firm. You're shaping your identity in silence. You're creating something that won't collapse the moment life gets heavy. It's easy to feel behind when the world celebrates blooms and branches, the visible milestones, the obvious progress. But don't forget, the most important part of any tree is the part you can't see, and yours is growing stronger every single day. You're not stuck. You're not failing. You're not lost. You're simply in a chapter that requires stillness, a moment that demands patience, trust, and inner work. Don't rush it. Don't dig up your roots just to prove you're growing. Let them take their time. Because the strength you build now will carry everything that comes next. And when the time comes when you rise, it won't be fleeting. It'll be real. It'll be lasting. It'll be you, fully and deeply rooted. You're allowed to go at your own pace. Maybe you didn't finish school on time. Maybe you took a detour, or felt like you were running behind while everyone around you seemed to be moving faster. Maybe you made a mistake that set you back, or followed a path that didn't lead you to the place you thought it would. Maybe your career didn't take off the way you expected, or you're still searching for the thing that lights you up inside. Maybe you're still healing from something painful that no one else can see, something deep within that you haven't figured out how to put into words yet. Whatever your timeline looks like, it's not wrong. It's not broken. It's yours. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to take your time, to reflect and to gather your strength. You are allowed to be a work in progress. The world moves at a pace that can sometimes feel overwhelming. It pushes us to finish early, to be successful fast, to accomplish everything by a certain age. But here's the truth. There is no one-size-fits-all path. There's no universal clock ticking over your head, telling you when you should have everything figured out. Maybe you didn't get the promotion at the same time as your peers, or your friends are getting married and having kids, while you're still figuring out what you want from life. Maybe you're still wondering if you'll ever get to that place where it all makes sense. But let me remind you, there's no race. There's no perfect moment that you have to meet. There's no rule book that says you have to achieve certain things by certain ages. And the truth is, even if you feel behind, it doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean that everyone else has figured it out and you have in single quotes. It simply means that your journey is unfolding at its own pace. You are allowed to take your time, to go through your own process, to experience the moments of doubt, the lessons, and the quiet growth that no one else may see, but that you're building within yourself. Because growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It's not always measured by how fast you get somewhere, but by how deeply you understand yourself along the way. It's not about reaching the destination first. It's about what you learn, who you become, and how you show up. No matter how long it takes, you are not behind. You're not lost. You're simply walking a different road. The world's timeline isn't your own. You don't have to be on anyone else's schedule. So be kind to yourself. Let go of the pressure to catch up, or to feel like you're falling behind. Take the time you need. When you look back, you'll realize that it wasn't about how quickly you got there. It was about how deeply you are rooted in who you are and what you've learned along the way. Slow doesn't mean losing. It means growing at the pace that's right for you. It means you're still on the path, still learning, still evolving, still becoming. And that's more than enough. Your timeline is yours to shape. And wherever you are right now, you are exactly where you need to be. What matters is that you don't give up. This journey you're on, it's not an easy one. It's not always glamorous. It's not always the picture-perfect, Instagram-ready life that people post about. In fact, there are days when it feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, walking a path that no one else understands. But here's the truth. It's real, it's raw, it's yours. Every time you decide to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it, even when the progress seems invisible. Like no one can see the effort you're putting in, even when you're doing everything you can, and still feel like you're not getting any closer to where you want to be, even when no one's around to cheer you on, when it feels like you're running the race all by yourself, even when your heart feels heavy, weighed down by the doubts and fears that seem to follow you at every turn. You're winning, not because it's easy, not because the road is paved with comfort and success, but because you didn't let the pressure to keep up with others break your spirit. You didn't let the comparison to everyone else's highlight reel make you believe that your worth is tied to how quickly you get to the finish line. You didn't let the silent struggles, the long nights, and the moments when you felt like giving up define your path. Instead, you chose to keep going. You chose to rise even when it felt impossible, and that is where your true strength lies. Because the real victory is in persistence. It's in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you're pushing forward despite the uncertainty. The real victory is in knowing that your journey is yours and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It's in choosing yourself, even when the world tells you to speed up or follow a different path. It's in honoring your pace, your story, and the courage it takes to keep walking, even when the road feels long and lonely. So, don't discount the power of keeping going, even when the finish line feels distant. Don't underestimate the strength it takes to keep moving forward, even when it feels like no one notices or appreciates the small steps you're taking. Every time you choose to keep going, you're building resilience. You're proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you think, and with each step, no matter how slow, you're getting closer to the life you're meant to create. The journey may not be easy, but it is worth every effort. And in the end, that's what makes you unstoppable. So keep going. Keep showing up. Keep believing in yourself because you're winning. One step at a time, you're not too late. You're right on time for your life. The world around you will tell you there's a deadline, a timeline you must meet, a list of things you have to check off one after the other. But let me remind you, life isn't a race. It's not a competition to see who gets there first. It's not about ticking boxes or running at a pace that someone else sets for you. Life is a journey of becoming who you're meant to be, a journey of discovering your purpose, of carving your own way, and of choosing a path that might not always make sense to others. There will be times when others seem to be flying ahead. They might have the house, the job, the relationship, the career, but that doesn't mean you're falling behind. You're just moving at your own pace. And that's okay. Growing doesn't happen on anyone else's clock. Your personal evolution doesn't have a strict deadline. It takes the time it takes. It requires patience. It requires self-compassion. And when you take the time to grow at your own pace, you begin to appreciate the depth of your journey. You experience life fully, more deeply, by staying present in each moment, rather than rushing to the next. The world wants you to believe that if you're not moving quickly, you're somehow falling short. But the truth is, there is no shame in being slow. And no shame in taking your time. In fact, there is quiet courage in being steady. Steady doesn't mean stagnant. It doesn't mean you're standing still, stuck in place. It means you're being intentional. It means you're choosing to move forward with purpose, no matter how small the steps. Even if it feels like progress is invisible, keep moving. Even if today only gives you the energy for one tiny step forward, keep going. Even if you need to pause and rest, do that too, even if you don't have the whole picture. If you don't see the end of the road yet, keep going, because slow doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're taking the time to build a solid foundation, to be sure of your direction, to give yourself the grace to learn and grow. As long as you keep going, as long as you keep moving forward, you are progressing, and that's more than enough. There will always be moments when you feel like you're not going fast enough. There will always be pressure from the outside world telling you to hurry up and catch up. But let this be a reminder. Your worth is not measured by how quickly you get there. Your value lies in the journey itself. So keep going, trust the process, and know that, in your own time, you'll get where you need to be.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.